how do you like the conference so far?
It's amazing. I think Bangkok is absolutely the perfect city, apart from the traffic. But I think just the lifestyle diversity that's on offer here, people coming from all over, and also the diversity of DevCon. Early stage innovations, late stage, growth. Like you find everything here. You find everyone who has something to do with Web3. They're all here. I love it.
Yeah, and you're based here, yeah?
I am based here, yes.
Okay, so what can you say about the crypto community here, and also about the level of crypto adoption into like daily life, let's say?
So I think if we look at the Southeast Asian market in general, there's incredible growth potential, but that definitely varies from country to country. So in the Philippines, of course, with Axie Infinity, we saw massive adoption during COVID. Very specific for the most part to the Philippines. In Vietnam, which I was also based previously, Vietnam, there's a different type of adoption that's very much focused on the Vietnamese community. What I'm seeing now is there's a lot of cross-chain integration between cultures in Southeast Asia. There's a lot of collaboration because of events like WOW Summit that bring all of these communities together from different countries. And I think that the culture in Southeast Asia very much ripens it for Web3 adoption. Very large youth population, digital natives, heavily into pop culture, and with the meme culture and everything that Web3 has to offer that's fun, that's exciting, that's new, that's spirited. I think that Asia is definitely going to be leading adoption.
Yeah, so that's a great choice of location, right?
and Thailand, just to say a little bit more about Thailand, I think the Thai ecosystem, it's quite new here in terms of adoption. I think the government is taking all the right steps in order to ensure that all the boxes are checked from a regulatory perspective, not completely closing off to innovation, but perhaps taking a more conservative approach, as opposed to some other countries that have gone full on out. But what I have seen are decision makers are based here. Founders, leaders, senior leaders within the crypto space, they are based here. I think because as I said, it's a lifestyle destination. You can balance life and work a little bit more. And I believe that in the coming years, WOW Summit is probably one of those conferences that, because it's happened here, next year it's going to be all the more attractive for people to come from all over too. And then once you get here, you understand this is perhaps a place that you want to return to. And I think this is why we are seeing the growth in Web3 in Thailand.
Yeah, cool. Great to have this insight from the person who lives here, actually. Cool. What can you say about AdLunam? Because I've read that this is like some platform that allows you to invest in gamified way. So how it works and why you created?
So AdLunam is a social-fi solution, and social-fi, of course, we know that there is great promise in social-fi, but there's not such great execution thus far, and that's because of the lack of utility in social-fi. Just because we get people together doesn't mean we have to monetize the interaction. That is a very Web3 approach, but it's not a solving for real-world problems approach. On the other hand, we are also a launchpad, an IDO launchpad. Now, that's where the utility for the social-fi comes in. We understand in Web3, especially in the early stage investment space, the IDO, the public sale, FOMO drivers, hype drivers, they are the ones that carry these projects forward because they are the ones sending the messaging, they are talking about it. However, we are not engaging them in the sense we are not rewarding them for their time and attention. And so in the public sales space within Web3, when you do an IDO, it's not that you are receiving an investment opportunity and allocation based on what you are able to bring to the table, the way that VCs can. If I'm a project raising funds and I'm talking to you, a VC, you can say yes or no to me, but I can also say yes or no to you. Maybe I don't feel I want you on as a VC, but with retail investors, projects can't do that. It's a black box. They don't know who you are, what you're going to contribute. And unfortunately, a lot of retail investors have been treated so badly by this industry. They've crashed and burned. And so it goes to show that if there's no long-term sustainable quid pro quo, I'm giving you something, you're giving me something back, then these communities will be pop-up communities. They won't stay past the IDO. When the hype is gone, they are gone. And so what we've built is we've really combined the social aspect, the engagement aspect, and we have a proof of attention model. So the attention, the engagement that you bring, so we also have a engage to earn model. Okay. So on our gamified system, every interaction that you have with projects, projects are able to see that you are very engaged.
Okay.
We also have wallet analytics, which means not only can they see that you are engaged on social media, they can also see that when you invest in tokens, you don't dump them as soon as you can.
Yeah.
You hold on to them, you support them, and so therefore the relationship between projects and retail investors are thus improved. In a very long, short nutshell.
Yeah. So the platform is live already?
The platform is in live beta. It's not live to the public. We have been in a 3-year-long bear market. So AdLunam is a 3-year-old company. We've been operating since that time. But so the accelerator part of our business is live. The launchpad will be launching next year because we have not done our TGE. We are doing it at the beginning of next year.
Ah, okay, that's great to hear. And what about the platform itself? Are you going to launch it next year as well? Do you have some kind of a roadmap?
So we will be launching it in conjunction with the TGE.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. But you see the traction right now, yeah?
So the way that we have structured it is. We are a middleman in the ecosystem.
Okay.
So we work with a lot of launch pads, we work with a lot of exchanges, we work with a lot of projects that are trying to launch building communities. So ultimately how we see ourselves is this, this constellation of Web3.
Okay.
We are connected to so many different ecosystems, and when a project needs anything from zero to IDO, which is what our accelerator is called, including community building, including launching, but not exclusive to those things. It's a very modular approach. And so that's kind of what we've been almost exclusively focusing on over the last 3 years. We've built the brand, we have built out the accelerator, and we've also built out media brands. And so now the only next step is to launch the actual platform and then the launch pad.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. On the accelerator side, are you looking into some specific niches, or every Web3 project, let's say, can be accelerated?
That absolutely depends on what investors would like. So our institutional network, they typically are sector agnostic. They typically would focus on whatever the hottest narrative is of the moment, which I think is not always, the best approach in Web3, because I think many narratives are perhaps too early to receive the kind of attention they need to gain traction. But typically what we do is, because we have a very large deal flow network, we will have certain narratives that we know are 100% hot right now, and everyone is looking for them. And then there might be other narratives that perhaps only one investor that we know might be interested in.
Okay.
So I think depending on the niche, it might be easier to follow that roadmap very quickly, or alternatively it might be a long sum game, make a connection now and keep the connection, the relationship, and then build it up over time until the narrative perhaps becomes more popular.
Yeah, understood. And what trends do you see now? Top 3 maybe. Can you name them?
I mean, I think that we are getting to the point in the industry where I'm not sure that it would be that easy anymore, because I think DEF CON is one of those sort of platforms where I'm starting to see the shift. Because now I can see top 3 trends within GameFi. Whether I say GameFi is one of the overall top 3 trends, that's perhaps a different story. But I think every industry that has been part of the Web3 umbrella for a while, I think they're all experiencing some sort of revival or some sort of evolution. I think though ultimately what I'm seeing, that maybe that's hope more than what's out there, but I think we can say RWAs all day. We already know that's a narrative. However, I think that privacy-focused solutions like ZK proofs. I mean, we can see there's a heavy focus on that at DEF CON as well, which means that it's an early supported idea by so many developers. And then also, I think SocialFi is going to experience a revolution and also an evolution. I don't think the solutions that we've seen thus far has stretched the boundaries of what we can do. We're a social species, we need to communicate, and all of Web3's communication is happening on Web2 platforms. So that has to shift at some point. I think your Warpcast, Farcaster, these solutions We've seen that they are trying our different solutions, but I think we need to just keep on going, keep on trying out. So many hackathons happening here this week. Who knows what's going to come out of that? So I would say ZK Proofs, SocialFi, and then really I think the third trend is not so much a narrative as a maturation of things. I think that we've been playing, hard and loose in the space. We've had a lot of freedom to innovate and to break, build fast and break things. And now we're coming to the point where regulators are stepping in and saying, "Whoa, what are you doing? I want to have a look at this." And so I think perhaps my third thing that I'm keeping an eye on is really just to see how the industry is adapting. Retail is getting more savvy. We've been telling them for years, do your own research. Now they are doing it. So with that, I think it's going to be a very interesting next year, and we'll see over the coming months what the bull market narratives will be.
Yeah, like the point, like the latest one, the third one is a great one. I think because I love this point where we have where we are at now, where we are living not in the bubble, but we are thinking about people, about consumers, if they need our solutions, and also, as you mentioned, like regulators are coming and they looking into the space and they see like what's actually can work and how they can regulate this. So, I love the place where we are now.
I think just as a closing thought on this point. We come to events like this. We love to talk. I mean, it's amazing to be at events like this. It's amazing to speak to other people in the industry and learn what they are doing and innovate together. But ultimately, we are an invisible industry, or we should be. People shouldn't care about what we talk about. They should just be using the things that we are building.
Exactly.
And so as much as we want to talk about the problems and the challenges and the opportunities, we need to start asking the simplest question in the history of all economics and business. This person, if they are going to give me money, why would they do it?
Of course.
So what problem am I solving that a Web2 solution cannot solve, that nobody can solve, that only the blockchain can solve? When you have a positive answer that is superior to all other solutions, yes, then you need the blockchain. Otherwise, we're just talking, and there's nothing wrong with that. The playing around, the innovating right now, it's a very important next step for the future.
Of course.
But then we need to be realistic. We are not changing the world now. We are preparing to change the world later on.
Of course. Yeah, I'm happy that this is the time for marketers, to step in and do these marketing campaigns for people, because when you understand that someone needs this solution, you can market it properly, you can show it properly, and you can build the story and do this marketing. But speaking about the industry, a few years ago, it was so hard because it was a huge difference between what people need actually and what we are creating here as an industry.
So I think DEF CON is the perfect example, because when DEF CON started in 2014, I believe, I mean, how many people other than developers understood anything about what was being spoken there? Now we are here, we have ice bath events and visit Mudeng at the zoo events, and there's just such a variety of people that have not only understood what's happening here, have adopted it, accepted it, are evangelizing it, and now have made it part of their lifestyle. So it's, in terms of adoption, the marketers of the industry, we are here. We are able to speak to those who are demystified by what the heck we are all talking about, because we all come from the real world. And I think that's perhaps the missing key for me, is we sometimes forget we come from the real world. We have this little Web3 metaverse bubble, and then we think everything in here is the only thing that's real. No, you still have to go back, you have to touch grass, you have to look at the sky, smell the flowers, because that world is what the rest of the world lives in. Only we live in this little tech world, so we can come visit here, then go back and visit there. We have to be a walker between worlds, right?
Of course. Great point to finish this interview.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to connect with you, and I'm hoping that you will also make this a more regular visitation.